Happy Racing Festival of the South, Oaklawn fans. It is upon us and one of my favorite times of year. Nancy Holthus joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. We were just talking about the pollen. It's so beautiful, though, to see the azalea bushes, the iris, the dogwood starting to bloom, but our sinuses certainly take the toll for it.
Yeah, we were just talking about that off air, how the allergy season is upon us, and woke up this morning, and I was thinking to myself when I first woke up, I hope I'm not getting sick, and it's just that air.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay hydrated out there. I'm going to be getting, after the show, some eye drops to, hopefully get this redness out of my eyes this morning. But you know what? We're waking up to Racing Festival of the South Week, so we're very excited about that.
I would maybe start popping some Claritin.
Claritin Clear?
Claritin Clear.
It works.
It works. It'll help that for sure. We come off some much-needed days of rest because we are full throttle the next 3 days as we do have the Racing Festival of the South. But first, let's take a quick look at our weather page. It is going to be very warm this afternoon, but we do have a fast track, sunny skies, winds out of the southwest at 10 miles an hour. 71 currently. The last forecast I saw, Matt, was in the high 80s. Today.
Oh, wow.
And then it is going to gradually lessen throughout Saturday. So I think Saturday is going to be maybe 65-ish.
Oh, beautiful.
But as long as the sun's out at 65, it feels great. If it's cloudy and windy, it makes it feel like it's 50.
Cool. And I don't think it will be. It looks like the sun's going to be out.
Yes.
Knock on wood. Now, Mother Nature likes to throw us curveballs in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, no rain in the forecast, anything
That's
like
good.
that.
That's
but
good.
I was on the employee shuttle this morning, and we were talking about the weather, and I said, you can come to Oaklawn and get all 4 seasons basically in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And we have seen that multiple times this year.
Yes, we have.
But just stay hydrated out there. It's not scorching hot. It's not like the summertime.
Right.
It is a beautiful day for live racing.
It is.
And really a beautiful week here. I mean, sort of the buzz and excitement's in the air. It always seems to be when there's good racing here in Hot Springs, but especially Arkansas Derby Week. There's just, you come in here and there's just employees working. That's one of, you know how you like certain things you like to see that get you fired up? That's how I am when I come in the grandstand and I see people working on things and it's telling you like the show's about to happen. It gets me excited.
Seeing a line of over 100 people at like 10:50 waiting to get in the doors at 11 just shows you how excited people are. I can only imagine the lines at the doors tomorrow and Saturday. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the future couple of days will bring on our news page. Of course, Happy Racing Festival of the South. Today is discount day. Free programs, free parking, and delicious $1 hot dogs. It's also $10 burgers and half-price appetizers in Mainline and Silk. So take advantage of that. Bob Baffert's Desert Gate is favored in today's Hot Springs Stakes. And we also have a Friday first post is the same of 12:30, and we will be giving away a Torpedo Anna bobblehead after race 4. You will receive a voucher upon entry, and then you can redeem that voucher for a Torpedo Anna bobblehead after race 4 down in the North End. And Hall and I so excited to see her as she seeks back-to-back matron stakes wins. And Honeybee winner, well, is not going to be Explorer. That should have been changed. Honeybee winner, Explorer scratched.
She's scratched. She came up with a little
temperature.
temperature.
It's not breaking news, but we do have the $1 million fantasy stakes. Sometimes that can happen when horses ship. They might not handle it as well, and she did spike a little fever, so she is not going to be competing in the fantasy. And as we take a look on to Saturday, it's a very busy day, a lot of moving parts, but we're going to start out with the Arkansas Derby edition of Dawn at Oaklawn, and I will be joined by dual Hall of Fame trainer Mark Cassie, who has several interesting horses in Saturday's card. Anxious to talk to him about Friday's results as well. And for Saturday, make sure you note doors open at 10 a.m. and first post for Arkansas Derby Day is 11:30 a.m. Please get here early. 14 races on the day, 4 stakes, including the Grade 3 Arkansas Mile, the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby. There's going to be hat contests, which are judged by the reigning and 2 previous Miss Arkansas. The University of Arkansas Marching Band will join us again, and the infield is open. Great for racing fans of all ages, but there's a kids zone, face painting, bouncy house, so much to do. And another little inside information, make sure if you have not downloaded the Oaklawn Anywhere app, you do so. You won't have to stand in any lines. You don't take a chance of getting shut out at the window. So make sure you download Oaklawn Anywhere and use our free Wi-Fi in the buildings.
And we always say it, if you're on track, we encourage you to get your bets in sooner rather than later so you avoid being shut out, especially on a weekend card. Arkansas Derby, there's going to be lines, so get your bets in sooner rather than later. And if you play with a mutual teller, that's what you need to do. We still encourage it on the phone, but if you have some sort of tablet, iPhone, smartphone, that actually, it's good to get those bets in early, especially if the Wi-Fi is a little bit slower with all the people. So just get those bets in, and I promise you that when you do it early, it's not going to stress you out right before the gates open.
For sure. And if you're maybe stuck in traffic trying to get here for first post, you can always get that wager in on your phone. I'm seeing lovely ladies come in, beautiful fashion with the hats and fascinators.
Look at
and
that.
It is just going to be part of the day that I really enjoy is the fashion, seeing everybody decked out, what they're wearing. But some of the most beautiful fashion is currently schooling in the infield right now.
Yeah, you can see them out there. And let me tell you,
That's
these
really
are
cool.
top-class horses you're going to be taking a look at here.
I'm so excited.
The stakes horses for the infield. So are we going to have the Hot Springs Stakes infield? Or
No, just our graded stakes on the weekend will saddle in the inside paddock and then transition to the infield where they will meet their jockeys and their connections, leg up from there, and then begin post braid. So just our graded stakes we will do that with, as we like to call it, inside outside. Let's go ahead, Matt. We've got 9 races on the afternoon. We'll see if Ramon Vasquez's power push is going to continue in the weekend. He won 5 races on the Sunday card. Very impressive feat. So congratulations to Ramon. It's going to be I think the leading jockey is going to be decided by a nose bob, potentially.
And it usually is around here because there's a lot of races, a lot of good riders, and a lot of riders that ride for different outfits, and a lot of different outfits win a lot of different types of races here. So, obviously Ramon has been here for a long time, and he's done very well consistently year after year. So he is riding well. Christian Torres is riding very well. We have a good jockey colony here.
We do.
And I always say it's horse racing. It's not jockey racing, so you still need to have the right horse
for sure
to do well.
Yeah.
But when you do, you can show off your ability, and the great riders and the good riders separate themselves from the ones who aren't quite at that level based on decision making, finish down the lane, those types of things.
And a few jockeys are being added to our colony this weekend to participate not only on Saturday's Derby card, but all 3 days of the Racing Festival of the South. And that is a testament to the purses that we are distributing. I did the math, and it was $3.349 million in purses on Arkansas Derby Day.
Oh, wow. Just in one day
huge.
alone. Yeah, that's a lot of dinero to win.
That it is.
Wish we could have been part of that action, but no, we're going to be safe here in the
We're the talking heads of
exactly.
Oaklawn.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and get started. Race 1 on the 9-race program. This is for maiden claiming 10,000 3-year-olds and upward, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Scratch the number 2, Free of Frost, and this also kicks off the first leg of our 50-cent pick 5.
The odds board always tells a story. Remember that. And look at that odds board. 3-1, 3-1, 7-2, 7-2. I agree with this odds board 100%. The horses that are the ones to beat in here are 0 for 13, 0 for 7, 0 for 11, 0 for 20. You just can't trust these types of horses, Nancy, on the win end, and maybe today's the day for one of them.
Maybe.
But after that whole Sweet Lexus deal last week, I said, okay, I'm going to change my approach here a little bit. And I went with Fair Hope, number 5, with a number of fast works on the page for trainer Lane Johnston. Ran in a maiden special weight at Indiana Grand. Didn't do much that day. Takes 10 months off, comes back here for a new outfit, in for 10,000. This horse probably needs that drop, and there's actually a workout video on Oaklawn.com. And this horse does have early speed and does it fairly easily, but then the finish was just okay. That said, this is a $10,000 $1,000 maiden claimer, a lot of professional maidens in here. So I'm hoping that this horse, new shooter, this type of level, can surprise here over all these very much, what's the word for it? Professional maidens.
There we go. There we go.
Was it.
And the number 5, Fair Hope, has also had brain surgery since his last go, as we call that, the ultimate equipment change, as he has been gelded.
That was like a PG rated way to put it.
Yes.
Brain surgery.
Race number, or excuse me, I'm going to go with the number 7, Saving Heart. I subconsciously picked Randy Morse on top in the first 3 races until I was typing out my notes. And I was like, hopefully Randy has a good day. He's had a phenomenal meeting.
Are you going to have a Randy Morse show parlay?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But he does send out the number 7, Saving Heart, with the services of jockey Travis Wales. He's run over off tracks in his last 2 starts. Both of those were versus tougher. Now, he did post his best effort 3 races back here in later December against Maiden 40 Company. That was also a fast strip to run 3rd after coming from off the pace. Now, I think the combination of the drop-in class and even a fast track is a big step for Saving Heart towards the winner's circle. So, interesting way to start out our Racing Festival of the South.
Definitely.
Race number 2 is for 3-year-olds and up, $30,000 purchase price, non-winners of 2, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Scratch of the number 1, Militant, and we do have a field of 8, and again, first leg of the 50-cent pick 4.
Well, I'm picking the morning line favorite here, Bourbon's Fault 3-1. Adding blinkers, there's that change we just talked about. Brain surgery for Bourbon's Fault. And second start off a 4-month break. First off the claim for Peter Miller, who is having just a terrific meet. Here's Nancy's angle here. This horse comes out of a race in which there were 2 next out winners.
Love that.
So that's a positive. And I do think there's some pace in here for Bourbon's Fault to chase. He's run against a little bit tougher until last time out where he ran poorly, but it was over a sloppy surface. And this horse is 0 for 6 in the slop. I think he's better on a fast track. I think he's in the right spot. And with the barn change, too, he could get this horse to really roll, the Miller team.
Yeah, that one certainly is one to take a look at. He goes from a low percentage barn into Peter Miller, where he's 25% right now, but I'm going to try to beat him. The horse just to the outside. That is the number 7, War of Destiny, Rafael Bejarano for Randy Morse. A huge effort last out off the non-2 for 12.5 claim. He stepped up against non-2 for 20, showed him some more early speed and ran second at 12-1, and also finished directly in front of Sexagenarian, who does return in today's field. That last out, Matt, also produced a next out winner.
There you go.
He does take another minor step up, but I like that this horse seems to be improving, and I like the amount of speed to his inside, which should benefit him very nicely doing that run of ground in the lane. And also the Morse barn is 17% second off of the claim. Let's move on. Race number 3. Excuse me. This is a 3-year-old filly's first level allowance optional claim price. That is not a typo, $150,000, and they are going to go 1 mile and a 16th in distance. And we do have a couple of runners in for the optional claim price.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the money to maybe claim Jules and Kaboom, both in for the $150,000 tag, good luck to you.
Exactly.
If you are able to, if you're deciding to make that type of purchase. But I know you like nickel and dime, obviously. Yep. I'm going to try to beat her. I think she's the one to beat. She probably wins. But I really like Agrippina as a filly, number 6, coming off a nice maiden win on opening weekend here. And we haven't seen her since then. Made a big move on the far turn and continued that run down the lane. She's by Tacitus out of a Street Boss mare. One sibling, his name is Papa Echo. We know him from around here.
We do.
Yep, he is a sprinter. But by Tacitus, the same sire as none other than Silent Tactic, you have to wonder if maybe this runner will enjoy the route. And you also have to think about Lindsay Schultz could have sprinted this filly again. And getting her to the route, came off a 3.5-month break, has been working steadily, has some decent works on the page. I watched her on Oaklawn.com outwork a stablemate a few weeks ago. So this filly can run. First time Lasix, Abel Cedillo retains the mount. I think she's going to be a better price than Nickel and Dime and Spitfire, so I took her in here. I think she's a nice filly, and she was working well before her last win. But Nickel and Dime is the one to beat coming out of Stakes Company, Nancy.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. As he mentioned, this runner does return to the overnight ranks after 3 consecutive stakes efforts, and those coming right off of the maiden 50 claim. So really jumped up into some deep waters. She was runner-up in the 6 furlong Mockingbird before a 3rd in the Martha Washington, and does exit a 5th in that Grade 3 Honeybee. Many of those fields, or many of those runners, we will see in tomorrow's Fantasy Stakes. She's very quick out of the gate, which I think is to her advantage, and loves to be on that front end, which is going to help get a good early position going 2 turns. So we'll see what happens.
It's a good race.
It is a really good race.
I mean, this is the type of condition 3-year-old fillies, when if you win this allowance type of condition, unless you want to be in for that $150,000 tag, then it's on to the Stakes Company.
There
and maybe for Nickel and Dime, she'll go back in there. But I also like the move Randy Morse is making here. Maybe she's not quite good enough to run in the Fantasy and be competitive.
Yeah.
So put her in a spot where she can be competitive. Keep her confidence up.
Exactly. I was going to say a confidence booster for sure. Race number 4 is for 3-year-olds. Starter allowance, $50,000 level, an optional claim of $62,500. They will go 1 mile in distance. And we do have a scratch of the number 2, Large Risk, who actually was the only runner in the field for the optional claim price.
Yeah, this is a fun little starter allowance race here. And Western Warrior, no doubt he's the one to beat here, Nancy. And you got to love his last 2 running lines. He went to the lead and won by 8, breaking his maiden 2 starts to go very impressively off of freshening for Mark Cassie. And then came back, sat well behind, and came home like a rocket. So you have to love that. Not only does he have great form, he's very versatile.
Yes.
And his speed figures say he's just a faster horse right now than the others in here.
Yeah, certainly is the class, and is actually a half to a Grade 1 winner in Blazing Sevens. So I love when horses put wins together. That means that they're really improving. And I do see a 3rd trip to the winner's circle consecutively for the number 4 Western Warrior as well. Race 5, we're going to take a look at, but I tell you what, Matt, let's take a quick break and then we'll return.
All right.
We'll be right back.
We're going to freshen up.
Powder my nose.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Torpedo Anna is now asked to finish, and she will. Wherever you may be, give a warm round of applause for the horse of the year, the champion, Torpedo Anna. She's a class act. She is back, and she is back in business. She's poetry in motion. She's Torpedo Anna.
Make every race day a win at Oaklawn throughout the 2025-2026 live race season. Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays are your days to swipe at any swipe station throughout the racing side. Just insert your valid state ID or driver's license to see if luck is on your side. If you win, a ticket will print telling you what you've won and where to claim it. So grab your prize before the day ends. Guests must be 18 or older to swipe and win. From free food and race bets to special discounts at the racing gift shop, every swipe brings a little thrill, and maybe even a surprise. Don't just watch the races, join the fun and see what you can win at Oaklawn.
And Clara from the Hot Springs stage. Clever again, a very exciting prospect in the 3-year-old division, and it is Clever again to romp in the Hot Springs.
And as you saw, tomorrow is our Torpedo Anna bobblehead giveaway. Guys, can we get a little close-up action on this?
Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, she is just as beautiful in bobblehead form as she is in person. Let me tell you.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. So
there you go.
There you can see her fantasy winner, and then Oaklawn, and then of course the Apple Blossom winner. So make sure you get here early to get your voucher for a free Torpedo Anna bobblehead, and those will be redeemable after race 4 down in the North End in the beer garden. So a hot collector's item, and yeah, pretty excited. We had the Mystic Dan bobblehead and now Torpedo Anna.
And I love it. Looks just like her. I love the fact that ears, it just resembles her ears. I love the blanket on her. That's a cool touch here. So she doesn't bite. We promise you that. She's a very nice bobblehead. And like you said, what a cool collector's item to have.
And you know what's crazy? There is so much information involved in getting a bobblehead. Like a lot of pictures, a lot of zooming in, a lot of, it's not just, hey, let's just do it. It's a process.
It looks
sure.
just like her too.
It does.
So they did a good job.
They did.
I believe the 6th saddle towel would have been the Apple Blossom saddle towel because she broke from the outside post. I remember in the fantasy drawn post 12. You know, a funny story is a person with pretty good connections in the business that day, first Arkansas Derby I was ever a part of.
Yeah.
They said this Kenny McPeak filly they're saying isn't losing, and I said, well, she's breaking from the 12 hole and we haven't seen her in 6 months, and they say she's not losing, and sure enough, she made the statement on Fantasy Day. I think she'd run very well at Churchill, but that was the day where people went, whoa, this is a nice special filly here, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so this is certainly the weekend to be here to see these next champions. As we pick up race number 5, which is the first leg of the final 50-cent pick 5 here on the Thursday card. This is for Arkansas bred, 3-year-old and up, a non-3 allowance condition, and they will contest a mile and a 16th. Did have a scratch of the number 5, Devil's Fork.
The favorite in here is an interesting item, Honey's to Blame. I had a really tough time trying to figure out, okay, how does this colt stack up with these older horses in here? He's a 3-year-old. He won a first-level allowance going 2 turns, 2 starts ago against Open Company, restricted 3-year-olds, ran poorly in the Rebel. Now, if Class President or Silent Tactic was in this race, if they were in Arkansas bred and they ran as fast as they did, they'd win by the length of the grandstand. But this horse lost by that much. So with that in mind, he fits well, I think, in this race, and even against older, I think he fits well. I'm still going to pick $2 Eddie in here. I just liked his last race, which was his first time routing, and even though you look at the bottom side of the pedigree, you question the distance factor there by Good Samaritan, the sire. That's route pedigree, and it took him 11 times to try to get this horse to route, and he finally got the race, and he did it better than any of his sprint races. So let's pick him here. Going to the lead, I'd imagine, in this race. You've only got one other runner with speed in here, Stephanie Starfish, but she hasn't been on the lead each and every time. So we're going to pick $2 Eddie in this race. I'm
actually going to go to Honey's to Blame. Obviously, $2 Eddie is the one to beat, being that Honey's to Blame is the lone 3-year-old in this group. But sometimes I don't think it's more important in open races. Sometimes Arkansas bred 3-year-olds, we've seen them be competitive against or against older runners. But does take on older, as I said, for the first time today, but I like the fact that this runner is back in the overnight ranks after a tiring 7th in the Grade 2 Rebel, so really went into the deep end. I like that he's not only back in against state breds, but also that he's earned both career wins here at Arkansas, where he broke his maiden sprinting against state breds and then won an open other than option 150. So there's certainly some class to this 3-year-old. We will just see if it shows up today. Yeah, and I guess this will be a really good indicator as to where he fits. I mean, he's a good horse, but if he were to win this race, it'll be interesting if he wins this race. Would Kenny McPeak wheel him back in a week for the Rainbow Sprinting? That would be say no. You would say no? I'm just going to say no.
You never know.
Yeah, you do never know. But crazier things have happened.
It's clear, even though he broke his maiden sprinting, based on how Kenny's campaigning this horse, he thinks the route is ultimately what this horse wants to do.
Race number 6 is for 4-year-olds and up, a $25,000 claim tag, and they are going to go for a mile and a 16th in distance. No scratches or changes in the field of 10. Well, I spoke too soon. That is a late scratch of the number 1, JT's Imagination. So Matt, you now have a field of 9
Yeah,
to
and
talk
you
about.
can, I guess, if you want to imagine him being in the race, if you want, use your imagination. Watch out there and look for the one saddle towel. Yeah, now we've got a field of 9 in here, and Hearn is the horse to beat. This horse is a trip play. I mean, he makes his first start off the claim for Mike Maker. He's 23% first off the claim. That's a very good statistic, but he was wide on both turns last time, too far back. He just didn't have a good trip that day, and it is what it is. So now you're left with hopefully a better trip, and I think form reversal very positive. His 2-back race, he earned a good speed figure against open $40,000 claimers, ran a hole in the wind at this type of level over a sloppy surface in Indiana. So I think he's 100% the horse to beat. I would probably single him in this late pick 4 sequence, late pick 5.
Well, I'm going to try to beat Matt with the number 8, Burnin' Time. Tom Amos, kind of tick-tock as he is going to turn his stable over to his assistant on April 1st. Rafael Bejarano in the irons here today. He joined the barn 2-back off of a $15,000 claim and a win, and then debuted against tougher, beaten $30,000 runners to finish third, and ran third to a 9-time winner in Kavad, who is an absolute beast sprinting. But both of those races did come down at the fairgrounds. Now, Amos is a very high 24% second off the claim. And I think this runner looks to settle within that first flight of runners and does that nice kick into gear down the lane. So I'm going to see if I can get Rafael Bejarano to the winner's circle with the number 8, Burnin' Tune. Race number 7, 3-year-old fillies, maiden allowance, and they will go 1 1/16 miles in distance. Did have a couple scratches. Number 2, It's Time for Zima, and number 4, Warrior Sophie. And Matt, you're probably weren't legal at this time when I was, maybe going into establishments when I was maybe too young to do so. But that was my drink, was this ages me, Zima with a shot of grenadine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was your go-to.
That was my go-to.
The good news is the statute of limitations is well past its. I think you're good there, Nancy. So it's all
I'm going
right.
to get a text from my mom. I'm sorry, you did what?
Yes. That happened last year when we talked about me sneaking into the racetrack.
Yes.
Yeah, they were like, "We didn't know. I didn't know that story." That's what Mom would say. Fun fact, Nancy. I guess it was a daring move to be able to go do what you did, and dare greatly is in this race. So
there you go.
There's a hunch play for your story. This horse has been the bridesmaid, as I like to call her, in her last few starts against good fillies too. Search Party, Take Charge Macy was a very nice maiden winner. Jolly Jolene, she's got some ability. And I just think that the field she finds here is an easier bunch. Remember, just because you're running at the same condition, there are different types of horses, different horses in general, and sometimes some maiden special weights come up stronger than others. And I just don't think this is the strongest one we've seen from the 3-year-old filly route division. She has run fine every single race. She just hasn't won. The key here, even though I say it in a lot with lower-level maiden claimers, still with a filly like this, find your friends. I think she has here.
I didn't have a real strong opinion in this race. I actually landed on the number 9, Army's Marauder. Chris Davis and Christian Torres team up here. Hit the board both starts when sprinting against high-level maiden claiming and sired by Volatile, who is 14% with runners routing for the first time and could potentially find this one closer to the pace today with that added route of ground. So not really mad about that far outside post, even though it is the 9. I think a little early push could get into good position going into that first turn.
And with the 2 scratches, he's in the 7th.
Yes.
So that helps significantly as well. And one thing I will say about sprinters like Army's Marauder, who have run sort of even, decent races in sprint, sometimes they route and they stay on a little better. So I agree with you. I think if Dare Greatly loses, it's probably to your pick, Nancy.
Yeah, sometimes the light bulb comes on with that added route of ground as well.
Yeah.
Race 8 is our 4th running of the Hot Springs Stakes, $200,000 purse for 3-year-olds going 1 mile in distance. And unfortunately, this race kind of got decimated because of some scratches. Lincoln's Law is going to stay in Florida and compete in a allowance at Gulfstream. Bricklin, we will see in the Arkansas Derby as well as Strategic Risk.
Yeah, Strategic Risk. He came up, they said, with an ankle. So that
so
was the
maybe not.
situation
Gotcha.
there. He's not entering in the Arkansas Derby. But
sorry.
we will see him. We will see him again.
Yes.
Boy, he had a couple of really good races earlier in the year. But let's keep the glass half full here. Small field. very high-quality field. You've got Desert Gate,
Yes.
who's been very well-regarded pretty much from the onset here for trainer Bob Baffert. Soldier and Diplomat, another one, has a lot of talent. Top level, he had an unlucky trip in his last race in an allowance. I thought he was the best horse. I thought he probably should have won. And Race Ready, a horse that really ran a hole in the wind against Maiden Company. So all things considered, you've got a good field here, Nancy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting from a pace scenario with an abbreviated field. Some of those horses that really do like to close from 10, 15 lengths behind, not sure if they're going to be able to sit as far back today.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so. I mean, it's not going to be one of these things where they're four in a line within 10 lengths of one another.
Right, yeah.
And look, you got a horse like Desert Gate who adds the blinkers today, your top pick, Nancy. I just think that this horse, he's a good horse, but I think Soldier and Diplomat could sit right there and try to run by him. And I picked Soldier and Diplomat in here. His two-back race in the Southwest behind Silent Tactic, runner-up. He drew the 11 of 12 hole, was wide on both turns, still ran a good race. And then last time out in the Rebel, I mean, that was a disaster of a trip. He was parked 7 wide. The field lined up into the turn. He had to tuck over. Remember, folks, when you tuck over in racing, there's two ways to do it: ahead of horses or behind horses. And Jose Ortiz had no choice. You can't go next to a horse and tuck over. You're going to slam into somebody. So he had to take back, sit at the back, try to run on. It just didn't work. And it wasn't Jose's fault. It was just bad racing luck, and there's nothing you can do. So I think a rebound effort is likely. He's not going to get that trip again. He's going to have to run by Desert Gate down the lane, who was a little bit disappointing last time in the Robert Lewis, but he was without blinkers that day. He adds blinkers for the first time. I watched him work in the blinkers at xbtv.com. He looked very good. So I think he's going to run better.
Yeah, super excited to see this horse in the flesh as well. Flavian Pratt in the irons. And that last go, a fourth in the Bob Lewis, that grade 3 event going a mile at Santa Anita, was his first time not hitting the board 1, 2, 3. That was also coming off just a little bit of a freshening. He now has that start under his belt, certainly looks to move forward, and is by far the most accomplished in this particular field as a graded stakes winner, and actually is also grade 1 placed. So does put the blinkers on, so I definitely see that forward action from this runner again today.
And when you think about it, I mean, this horse is going to be probably positively benefited by scratches in a smaller field, because speed usually is. Now, Soldier and Diplomat has the early enough speed and tactability to sit close to this horse and press him a little bit. And Irad Ortiz, who's aboard Soldier and Diplomat, he's drawn outside. And I think Flavian's really going to have to get this horse out of the gate well, because if you don't break out of the gate well with a horse like him, he's probably going to be able to get to the lead anyway, but you got to use a little more energy than you might want to early. So the key with Desert Gate: break, get good position, get in a rhythm, and see how far you can take them.
And that pretty much is the instructions for all racing. Get into a good position. Race number 9 as we close out the Thursday on the first day of the Racing Festival of the South. They are going to go 1 mile, 3-year-olds and up. Maiden claiming $15,000 is the purchase price. And we close it out with a field of 10.
Yes. Actually not Arkansas breds.
Well, Arkansas breds are in for,
breds.
Arkansas breds that are in this field will be in for the $25,000 tag.
It's because I picked an Arkansas bred in here that I'm jumping the gun here, folks. I picked Global Heat Wave in this race, coming out of State Bred Maiden Special Weight Sprints. Second off a layoff here for Richard Jackson. You know, this horse here only worked, only worked 4 times leading up to that race. And I just wonder if maybe this horse, A, was a little bit outmatched last time out, but B, if second start off the break, this horse can run even better. He's by Global Campaign. The dam was a turf sprinter. 2 siblings were winless, but Global Campaign by Curlin. There's route pedigree on the top side, especially here. And we saw Richard Jackson with Markinsaw earlier in the season. He's got a small string, but he took this horse out of poor effort sprinting against maiden special weight Arky breds, put him long, and did the trick, and maybe he can get this one done. Another angle, Louis Q in the nightcap.
There you go. Louis Q in the last for Rick Jackson. I'm going to try to beat with the number 6, Expensive Game, and yes, it is. Coming from the barn of Joby Castor, Ramon Vasquez in the irons this afternoon. I like that this runner does come in with a good foundation of 2-turn race efforts in that 6-race career. Those did produce pretty decent numbers, and much better than a lot of other runners in this nightcap race. Now, there is just maybe a minimal amount of speed, and I think that he showed some early interest, so maybe on the lead or just sitting there off by default. So a lot of times when sometimes the lower level claimers, they don't display that speed. So it's kind of like somebody's going to be on the by default.
Well, and especially with the mile race here, you get these lower level types here. So sometimes sprinters too, for example, you come out of sprint races where they didn't show much speed and you go to the route, you're just a lot more prominent because some of these true routers don't have the type of speed that you might see in the sprints, and sitting 10 lengths behind in a sprint, you can sit close to the pace in a route race, depending on the pace scenario. So fun card here, Nancy, to kick off Racing Festival of the South. We've got a fun stake, the Hot Springs, and I think this is one of those days, Nancy, where out of every day we've had this year, where we're very different in opinion. So this will be fun to see how our picks do.
For sure. In addition to our 9 race selections, we have also put together a $20 show bet bonus parlay ticket, our long shot and top pick. Matt starts in race number 3 with Agrippina, goes to Western Warrior in the 4th, Dare Greatly in race 7, and closing it out in the feature with Soldier and Diplomat. I'm going to go a pair of 7s and a pair of 8s. Race 1, Saving Heart. Randy Morse's race 2 with War of Destiny. Honey's to Blame for McPeak in the 5th, and Burnin' Tune in race number 6. My long shot play of the day, we're going to start off in race 2 with that War of Destiny, while Matt goes to the nightcap with Rick Jackson's Global Heat Wave, and top pick sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt, we are going head to head. I love it.
Yes, we are.
As I'm going to go with the Bob Baffert runner Desert Gate, while Matt's going to go to the outside of that abbreviated field with Steve Asmussen's Soldier and Diplomat. One major key of advice, if you are coming out Saturday, get here early. Doors open at 10. It's critical that we know Central Avenue gets backed up, so make sure you plan to get here early. Doors open at 10. First post is 11:30. But tomorrow, something special again. We will be giving away these Torpedo Anna bobblehead horses. So really cool. A lot of people have extensive collections of these. So you will receive a voucher upon entry and can redeem that voucher after race 4. Today is also discount day, and also $10 burgers and half price apps in mainline and silks.
I remember when I was a kid and went to Del Mar Racetrack on opening day. Have you been there on opening day, Nancy?
I worked several opening days for TVG.
You know how back then, it's not quite what it was back then, but remember how wild opening day was?
There would be 300-400 people. They would open the gates and the turnstiles, and it was just a rush.
That's how it is here on Arkansas Derby Day, especially to get infield seats.
Yeah.
But I remember, and this is just a fun story, because, and the reason I'm thinking about this is because we were talking about traffic and just how many people are going to be here on Arkansas Derby. I remember my dad and I, we would be sitting on the freeway. It would take at least an hour to go one exit.
It was nuts.
And I saw women in high heels with hats and dresses. They get out of their car and they'd say, "Sayonara, honey," to their husband or significant other, and they would be walking down the freeway.
I've kind of been that girl.
You have been?
I've been that girl.
Really?
And especially,
I could see you being like, I'm getting out of
funny
this
story.
car.
I think maybe been closing or the end of opening day at Del Mar. I was with a bunch of girlfriends, and we didn't know how we were going to get back. We were staying at L'Auberge. Didn't know how we were going to get back to the hotel, which is fairly close to Del Mar.
Pretty close.
We literally opened doors on random cars, jumped in, and said, "Take us to L'Auberge."
Really?
And we're still safe. So
yeah,
probably not the thing to do.
Not in 2026.
Yeah, don't do that now. But you know, back in the day, it was a little safer.
So if you live close to the track and you said, "You know what, I'm walking," do not feel shame, because we've seen people on freeways walking down the exit lane to get to the races, and that's dedication.
That is dedication. Major dedication.
So Nancy, you had some dedication there.
I definitely had some dedication, and maybe some drinks in me too. So yeah, it's always fun.
And we'll see plenty of that come Arkansas Derby Day.
Yeah, definitely try the Oaklawn tea. That is our signature drink.
It's good too.
It's
we both
very
tried it.
good. It's very good. So without further ado, you're going to see myself and Andy Biancone down in the paddock throughout the day. Matt's going to be on the roof first, giving you the all set of changes and doing some analysis as well. Welcome officially to the Racing Festival of the South. For Matt Dinnerman, I'm Nancy Holthus. Good luck and good racing.